Hello and welcome back once again to the Salty Barrel Podcast. I'm Jerome Normal.
And I'm the one and only Peach Man.
So, today's topic.
All right.
Do you know what today's topic is?
I like that you ask me that every time, despite the fact you never tell me. You're always like, "Hey, what's today's topic?" And I'm like, I don't know. Gold fishing? I don't fucking know.
Well, today's topic is going to be about cereal.
Okay.
Not really. For today's topic, we're actually going to be discussing theories about what happens after death. Do you become a ghost or go to heaven or reincarnation?
Okay. All right.
Things like that.
Gotcha. So what is a ghost? You don't know what a ghost is, do you?
A crackhead in Chicago.
I think the microphone's... Yeah. So, what are crackheads? Okay, so I get the point of the topic.
Or do we just die in the grave and that's it?
Okay. Yeah. So
My voice cracked.
basically, what I'm getting is you're wondering if there's an afterlife. So, I'm personally 50-50 when it comes to afterlife stuff because, like, I'm a pretty down person. I always go by the truth and think about the worst events or, like, results. So, as much as I wish reincarnation was a thing or, like, maybe heaven, personally, I think it's just darkness.
First you said you were neutral and now you're like, I think it's
Okay.
dark.
I'm 75% more with darkness.
So you're Batman.
Yes, I'm Batman.
Which is ironic because when me and Peachman play VR, I'm Batman.
And I'm like a Master Chief or a furry or something. Disclaimer, I'm not actually a furry. I just want to make that very clear. So,
But anyways, my view on this is that I'm pretty much 50-50. Like, cut down 50-50.
you're like 50-50 with me, but then you're also like, well, there's probably a bigger chance of reincarnation. You're pulling a me, but an opposite.
Look, I try to be a centrist on these things.
Okay.
Not politically.
Right. Okay, so we'll just say we're both 50-50. How about this? Since I'm more, kind of reality-ish, try to
Reality-ish?
basically, I think it's just death. Try to convince me. Let's make it a little debate about this.
Oh, we recently had a few debates.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't go into those.
Okay, all right.
So you think it's just darkness?
Yeah, I think it's really just pain, like no pain.
It's just pain?
No, it's pain.
That's hell.
It's just nothingness because now you may not believe this, but and by the way, I don't even believe this myself. Maybe I felt it was my mind just fucking with me. I felt myself not born. This is
You felt yourself not being born.
I felt like
I believe that's called being delusional.
I felt like a fetus. I felt like I was still in the womb. Now,
you feel like you remember that?
actually, yeah.
In a way, I kind of do as well. But you can elaborate more on what you mean.
Okay. So for some reason, it was for me. I mean, how do you fucking describe it? It was literally just darkness. It literally was like nothingness and like a white static. Like I know that sounds like sarcastic. Like your ears weren't developed or something. But then it was funny because I had these weird actual thoughts of me and my family, like my brother and my sister. Like for some reason we were like introducing ourselves. Like I know it's funny. Like it was like they were introducing themselves to me when I was a baby, but then I woke up and I was the age of 4. Like it was like some weird flash of a memory, and then I remember that at the age of 3 or 4 was when I started remembering the majority of my life.
Now, when you described that blackness or darkness, like when you were a fetus,
Right.
that's not non-existence. That's still an experience. because you were a fetus.
Oh, okay.
That's not a very great analogy
Right.
for not existing
But what I'm
before
trying
you were
to
born.
but what I'm trying to say was maybe I was already like I was being born, I was kind of dead, but like science is kind of like saying a different
You were dead before you were born. See, proof of reincarnation right there.
Okay, buddy. All right. How do I put this? It's like a goldfish swimming in the ocean. I'm joking. Let me give you. Let me give you. Like, I'm gonna actually try to be serious about this. I haven't put too much thought into this because some people don't tell the topic. Sometimes, don't worry, he does sometimes. But so the way
He knew exactly what this topic was going to be.
No, no, I didn't. Yeah, I did. So the way how I see it is when you're not born, but you're still like a wound in the fetus. It was like completely darkness, like nothing. Like it literally felt like you were in like a deprivation chamber, like you were lifeless. That's what I feel like death is gonna feel like. So in a way, if people remember this, that's what I personally think how death is gonna feel. Bland, darkness, nothingness. Because, like, why would there be any type of reincarnation or, afterlife? Do you really think there's a big jolly man or above or something, like Santa Claus?
But see, here's the problem.
Yeah.
And for now, I'm not even gonna take a position.
Okay.
For now,
All right.
what I'm trying to say is, you can't even say that it's blackness or like a deprivation chamber because there's still an experience there.
Okay. All right. But would you still consider that an afterlife? If it's an experience, but is that really an afterlife?
Well, that could be an afterlife, but you would have to explain why it would be like that.
Well, the way how I see it is, for some reason, you're not exactly like. In some way, you're kind of still conscious without like your brain.
So then where are you?
Right now, I'm at a Salty Barrel HQ. So.
But I mean, after you die.
Probably in a coffin. But
what if your brain is disintegrated?
It won't matter about the disintegration of the brain, actually. Like, the way how I see it, it's like the end of a tape recorder. Your life just blinks, and then it's just darkness. You don't feel anything. You don't know anything. You just feel like you're staring at a wall without any feeling or emotion. Like like watching paint dry or something. I don't know.
How would you be watching anything if you don't have any eyes?
Touche. Well, technically, you would have eyes. They're just not working. And you're probably...
You would have eyes without eyes.
Yeah. And I know it's funny because I literally said you hear white static. Well, how would you hear white static if you don't have ears? Or, like, aren't they shut off? And it's a very complex analogy of wording, which cannot be explained by a simple man without the research of it. But I bet if I really did have time, I could probably sum it up in like a 5-page paragraph, like in middle school or something. But
probably not.
Okay, maybe not. I would probably just say like you got to put some cheese in it or something. All right.
So, how much do you know about theories of the afterlife? I'm sure you've heard the common ones like heaven, hell, or reincarnation, what we were just talking about.
What the hell's a haven? I'm joking. Well, those are going off spiritual things like Christianity or Buddhism or Muslim or, etc. And we already have the debate where if we ask if God's real or not. But let's say hypothetically he's not, which is possibly the truth. I like to believe in stuff, but
probably
it's probably a large chance. Like, I'm not Christian, but I am spiritual, which is kind of fucking weird. But it's complicated because I like that I keep saying it.
You're not making a lot of sense. You're like, I don't think there's an afterlife. Also, I'm spiritual. Also, I think there kind of is sort of an afterlife, but not really.
I feel okay. Let me explain. Okay, I think the afterlife has to be chosen for people then, because think about it. A few episodes ago, we were talking about shadow men and how I seen things like that as a kid. We don't know if that was
Yeah.
imaginary.
Yeah.
And I'll admit that's kind of spiritual. That counts. So maybe there is some sort of afterlife, but it's like a chosen afterlife. So it's either you have a second chance of feeling free or eternal darkness. It's not like heaven or hell. It's heaven or nothing. Nerf or nothing.
So, it's kind of like, instead of hell being like eternal torment and fire, it's
Right.
just nothingness.
Right. Because in a way, that is its own torment.
That's actually what some people and some Christians believe. Because the idea of the burning hellfire with the
Yeah.
naked demons torturing you with the pitchfork sounds a little ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take a succubus or two.
So would I.
Well, that's the thing with Christianity and hell and stuff. I mean, let's be honest. Do you really believe that there's a fucking devilish guy who's red and, you know, probably shoves a horn?
Well, he's not red. He's obviously green. You bigot.
Okay. All right. So let me say it like this. Do you want to live forever? And no, none of this fucking like, oh, the world's gonna end bullshit or
Well,
like no one. Everybody stays the same. Like everybody lives forever the same. Would you get sick and tired of that same life every single day? See, I pulled a sneaky on you. Because
well, as long as Chi-Chi's still married to me and does the dishes, I'm a happy man forever.
who the fuck is Chi-Chi?
You don't know who Chi-Chi is? She's the wife of Goku.
Oh, there's more than one Chi-Chi. That's why I was like, you know, because you got your Chi-Chis, your Kikis, your Meep-Me's.
Kiki, do you love me?
She obviously
Okay, we're
doesn't.
getting way off topic.
Right.
Going into anime. We might as well have made this an anime episode. Not
Demon Slayer season. I don't watch that much anime.
So I think I probably would eventually get bored living forever, but it kind of depends, because would I stay looking the same age forever, like a vampire?
Well, let's just say, yeah, we'll say hypothetically, yeah, because like when you go to heaven, if you know, you probably stay the way you want to look, like the moment of your life or how you see other people. Like you obviously you don't go to heaven with other people. They probably put you in like a simulated room.
Obviously, you don't go to heaven with other people.
I meant like
That's the most bold statement about the afterlife I've ever heard.
I meant like it's not like literally you still see the people that you went to heaven with. They probably put you in like a place which has people who act like people, but they're not actually people. They're like angel spirits or some sort.
So this is interesting. So you're like, okay, maybe the angels or those things that look like your family members are
Right.
actually NPCs.
Yes, basically like a video game, a simulation.
I can't believe you just brought this up, because I was actually thinking about going somewhere like that.
Okay, I'd say so. We're in agreement.
Because I was first in this podcast, I was going to bring up, the typical ideas of the afterlife, like heaven, hell, becoming a ghost, maybe purgatory, reincarnation.
Then you brought up Avatar.
And then I was gonna bring up, like, what if we're living in a simulation and when we die, it's kind of like taking off a headset.
Right. So you think we're like in the Matrix without knowing?
Hey, don't pull a Kathy Newman on me. Like, so you're saying I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Basically,
I'm not saying this is true.
so what I'm understanding is,
I don't think you're understanding.
do you think we're secretly
I just said I don't think.
Do you know if we actually been secretly abducted by aliens and we're in some weird testing tubes on an alien ship, and then when we die, we wake up, and there's like people trying to escape before they get experimented on?
Well, if you ask people that do a lot of drugs, then yes.
Okay. I'm just saying, like that's something I always thought about. Like, it's actually something I actually have been thinking on my mind. Like, you live the happiest life. You're like around 80 years old. You have grandkids. You pass out. Like, I mean, you die slowly, and you're like, yeah, I had a good life. But next thing you know, you wake up in this weird panicky tube. You're like in some type of weird liquid. It shuts off. It opens up, and you're just sitting there traumatized. Like, where's my family? Where's everything else? But you weren't 80. You were like 14 or like 18 or something, and it was just some weird experiment / simulation, which fucked with your mind, causing you to probably go through some traumatic experience because obviously your family's not real. It's like it's like the Injustice comics for Superman or something.
I love how we're rushing into like the biggest theories instead of just starting off with the simple ones first.
Well, what if I told you I have bigger theories?
Just hold your horses.
Okay.
A moment.
All right.
So, Jesus freaking Christ.
Hey.
You ruined the podcast.
Nah. Hey, man, I'm taking this a little bit more seriously.
So most people seem to believe in some variation of the idea of heaven, where
Right.
you live a good life, and you go to heaven. And if you're a rapist and a murderer and a dickhead, you go to hell.
Imagine if heaven didn't get everything exactly right when trying to make your simulator world, and you like go to like heaven snack bar and you're like, yeah, what kind of Pringles do you got? Pringle flavor. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. What? So.
Yeah.
I told Peach Man about this whole Pringle thing. God damn it. So
It's a VR story.
yeah, it's a VR story. So I was in VR watching a movie with someone, and
What were you watching?
I don't even remember what it was. It was like an anime or something.
Okay, all right.
And there were these chips in the VR room, and I was like, what kind of chips are those? And he's like, trying to remember. Pringles.
Pringles.
and I was like, well, what flavor are they? Pringle flavor? That's stupid.
We have a lot of stupid things in VR. One, I don't know if you mind me mentioning about that one girl who wanted to get married at a certain age, and you're like, what are you, a fucking Mormon?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
I don't know how to put context. I wasn't there, so I just know that was funny. But
We'll tell that a different time.
yeah. So the Pringle afterlife.
You just see a Pringles can.
Yeah. Like, it's just like you and like that's like how the Muslims do it. It's like you in a Pringles can with 72 virgins. Then
Okay, you know what? There's no way we're gonna be able to start off with the regular ones and jump into the crazy stuff because we already have.
all right, fine.
So let's go balls deep into this. So let's say
The ball pit of sanctuary.
So let's say we're living in a simulation,
Right.
and there's a lot of implications to that, because what if all the religions of the world are just a part of the game, and they're purposely created for this world by the simulation?
So like Assassin's Creed in a way.
And what if those stories of people going to heaven and coming back are usually seeing the things that they already believe, not because it's a hallucination, but because the simulation
Programmed it. It was
has programmed AIs to
it was an error.
show you your loved ones or whatever.
What if it was an error in the system of people dying and then it being brought back to life? Like they miss they miss the expiration date and they fucked up, so they're like, oh, we're gonna have to send this man back to life. Because people have survived in really big fucking falls.
And this isn't completely something I'm pulling out of my ass entirely.
You're pulling it out your ass.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Well, I probably am.
Improv with Jared Normal.
There are some stories of people going to heaven and coming back that are a little strange.
Right.
For example, one story I heard, a guy died and apparently went to heaven, what he thought was heaven.
He did quotation marks, by the way.
And he saw the Virgin Mary.
Right.
And he was like, "Are you really the Virgin Mary?"
He should have been like, "Are you really a virgin?"
And then the being revealed itself to be some other being and was just like, "Oh no, we just do that to make people feel happy or feel comfortable." Or
Okay,
whatever.
this does sound like you're pulling something out your ass.
I'm not.
You had me in the first half because I thought it was going to be like, oh, he saw Virgin Mary, but he asked and got closer, but it turns out the simulation was breaking, and it showed like weird AI bots, like mini AI bots, like freaking out and like changing from Virgin Mary to like these swarm of drones, just like keep flashing back and forth, and he gets sent back down.
Do you have any family members that have almost died and have seen the light?
Oh, plenty. Trust me, plenty, actually. My grandfather nearly died 5-7 times. No joke. Fucking heart attack, died, came back to life, died, came back to life, died, came back to life.
Seriously?
Yes, that's actually a true story.
Did he see anything?
I don't know if he saw anything because I didn't really have much to talk to him about. I just know that he was a hard man to kill. And, it kind of broke my dad's heart when he finally did pass away, though, and I don't blame him. But I don't know if you really saw anything, but he literally died and came back to life so many goddamn times. Which is...
That's a real veteran.
he was a veteran, yeah. He served his country well. It's actually going to be Memorial's Day, soon, and I'll probably upload on Memorial's Day, so I just want to salute all my family members who've actually served in the Army and sadly passed. I do appreciate them.
Yeah.
All right. If there is a heaven, I really hope they are there.
So, a lot of interesting stories of people going to heaven and coming back.
Right.
Like that story, heaven is for real.
All dogs go to heaven?
Sometimes when this happens, before they go to quote-unquote heaven...
yeah, quote-unquote heaven.
When their body is floating up out of the... When their spirit is floating up out of their body, they sometimes see and hear the things that people are saying in the hospital, even though they're, like, almost brain dead, and they can't even hear that stuff.
Well, actually,
and then when they come back, they tell it very accurately what happened.
That's another thing I actually always wondered about heaven, actually. How do they actually go up? Because it's like, their spirit floats out of their body. Do they literally take the escalator up? Or is it literally like you're brain dead and then 5 seconds later you wake up in the clouds? Because there's been lots of theories and stuff about that. Oh, even Family Guy did it with Peter being in the elevator talking to God.
There was a person that apparently died. I don't remember for the exact reason they died. But
Ligma.
They had an experience of floating up out of their body, up through the roof of the hospital, and seeing that there was a shoe tangled somewhere. And when they came back in their body, they described accurately where that shoe was and the exact color. And some people tried finding it, and they found it, and it was exactly as described.
Huh. Fascinating. I mean, in a way, I sort of had similar things. Not really floating on my body. I never really had an astral projection. I was able to predict the future. I know that's a thing, but never really thought of it like that. I think there might have been times where I've actually astral projected without even remembering or realizing and remembering things, but that was mostly stuff when I was a kid, so I kind of didn't really believe much of it.
Well, they say that kids are more spiritual,
Well, yeah, we are
even
spiritual.
though they're a bunch of little brats.
Yeah. Kids astro project in North Korea to find the Wi-Fi signal, so when they're ready, they have to search for it in the morning.
It sounds like you keep saying astro project.
You know,
I mean, I guess you could still use the same terminology, but
I'll just say
it-
projection.
it's like Astro Boy.
Yeah. Fucking Astro Boy. That was a good movie. But yeah. I'll just say projection.
There have also been some stories of people that were born blind and they had near-death experiences and came
Right.
back and described seeing things for the first time.
They can go piss on a cat.
Oh, it's not a cat pisses on them; they have to piss on a cat.
Yeah. They don't have a penis though. They like their dick's cut off. They can't piss. So, that is a scientifically very. I'm trying to sound smart here.
Very improbable thing. Like,
Yes.
very strange.
A very inadequate subject that you've proven to me. God, sorry guys, we'll come back on the topic. 1 second. We really do apologize. Oh wait, never mind, guys. Hold on. Nope, we fixed it. And we're back. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good now.
All right.
So,
Scientifically inadequate. But yeah. So you said the blind woman saw things.
yeah. So, what's weird about this is not only was she blind, but she was blind her entire life. So
Right.
she would have had no concept of color. I mean, imagine trying to explain the color blue to a blind person.
I thought
Or
you.
the color red.
I thought you were talking about the color of their skin for a second. Like, what am I? Am I white? I would find it funny if they did astral projection and like, God damn it, I'm black.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
They see God as Morgan Freeman,
Yeah.
like he's a black guy. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Yeah. Imagine if they got like black voices confused with white people and white people confused with black voices. Like, they think people who sound hip are the white people.
Yeah.
Yo, Slim Jim. You know.
So, what are your thoughts on this so far?
Okay, well, I will give you that, because it does remind me of something in high school. I don't know if this girl saw anything, but there was a story way back. This was a history thing where a girl was born without not eyes, like without sight or sound. So basically, she was deaf and blind her entire life.
Yeah, I think I heard that one before.
And the only way she was able to communicate was like writing on somebody's hand, like through motion.
That's gotta really suck
It
living
re-
a life like that.
It really does. Rape opportunities.
Oh, don't even go there.
Is this your husband or your stepbrother?
What the hell, Peach Man?
I don't know. Maybe you could like tell from the fingerprints or something, but I wonder if she came back to life in some sort of way, like she would like say like the things you said. Like, would she be able to hear? Would she be able to see? Was she able to recognize things? See the beauty of stuff in life.
It's like that SpongeBob episode. She could almost taste it. Or
I don't think I remember that one, but
Remember when Patrick was like, I could almost taste it, like
Oh.
licking the
Oh,
ice cream cone.
oh,
and-
yeah,
and
yeah.
you think it's SpongeBob.
Yeah. Okay,
But-
never mind. Now I remember. I thought he was looking SpongeBob's foot for some reason.
Yeah, something like that, whatever.
Right.
And there are many more experiences like this where the person comes back and seems
Right.
to describe things they shouldn't have known. Like, sometimes they'll even come back and describe a conversation that was in a completely different room,
Hmm.
like, so accurately.
Okay. Well, maybe they have good hearing or the hidden cameras or some sort.
They caused themselves to die on purpose for publicity.
Yeah. It's
It's like a super huge conspiracy.
yeah, like people die to spy on others. Which I'm not gonna lie, I question if I ever am a ghost or if ghosts are real. I wonder if I'm gonna be a fucking spying freak. I don't know. I'm not gonna be a perv. I have respect for women, in some ways. We're not gonna get into that. Obviously, I obviously do, but I wonder what I would do with my ghost life. Like, would I even be?
Your ghost life.
You know what I mean. Would I be like trapped in where I died? Would I be, actually be able to explore around the world? Is there like a certain rules? Because I watch a lot of ghost hunters, and I know, fun, ironic. The guy who says there's not an afterlife watches ghost hunters.
Ghosts are a really fun subject. I like
Yeah.
ghost stories a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't usually buy the ghost hunter stuff.
In a way, I don't, but
Because I remember watching some ghost hunters. I don't know if it was like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters, whatever the show was.
yeah.
It looked so fake because they were like... I was in school at the time and it was like a Friday.
Yeah.
And the teacher just put it on for us to watch. And I'm just looking at this like, this looks so fake because they were showing some parts where it seemed like the quote-unquote spirit or ghost or demon or whatever was getting energy from the electricity. Like, it looked like it was taking... It's hard to explain.
I thought you were gonna say
It looked so fake.
I thought you're gonna say it looks fake because of their reactions, and I just want to say, I kind of see how you think it's fake, but there's a 50% I personally think it's real, because you got all this equipment, spirit boxes, EMFs, all this stuff, and you literally seen the thermal camera, it's a possibility that there could be a tracking of some sort of ghost or spirit. Because for the people who said you can't track a ghost on a camera because they're not real, bullshit, we've done it.
I like how you start out on this episode like, nah, when we're dead, we're dead. Like, you keep going all over the place.
Casper will be pleased.
Caspero.
Caspero. Like I said, I'm 50-50, and that's probably just because I've been depressed for a while. But hey, it's like I said, I kind of think it's not real, but I wish it was real. Just like how
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, I thought Johnny Depp was Davy Jones, from Davy Jones' Locker, and he's a ghost.
There's one ghost story that I really find interesting. I don't have all the details of it right now, but basically there was this plane that had technical difficulties and crashed, landed somewhere, and a lot of people died in it. And the parts to that plane were used to make other planes. And what's really creepy is that on the planes that used the parts from the plane that crashed with the millions of people
Wait,
dying,
I'm fucking confused.
there were
the-
hauntings on those planes.
The plane from the part from the plane. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, so what you're saying is there was a haunted plane No, there was a plane that crashed.
and hundreds of people died on that plane.
Right, and then they took a piece from that plane and put it into another plane, and then it crashed.
No.
No?
So the first plane that crashed,
Right.
lots of people died. Most of the people died, I think. Yeah.
Majority.
And the parts to that plane were used to make another plane.
Right.
Well, to put on another plane.
Okay.
And that plane, or those planes that used the parts from the plane where a lot of people died on,
Right.
became haunted.
Huh.
Or seemingly became haunted. Because on the planes that used some of those parts of the plane that crashed, people had ghost sightings of like the pilot and some of the people that died.
Right. Right. So they got haunted. So they've been seeing visions. So now, was it only on the plane, or was it like when they still got off?
I think it was only on the plane, like when the people were on the plane.
Okay, so it's like
So it seemed like the ghost or the ghosts were attached to this plane or these planes because they had parts connected to the plane that they died on.
So basically, what I'm understanding is these parts were haunted, but then put onto a plane. So the ghosts marked their territory, recognizing, like the atmosphere, claiming it as theirs, and started haunting the plane.
Yeah. They were marking their territory.
Come on, I'm trying to be serious here, man. Let me make a dick joke real quick. Fucking.
Now, one explanation you might give to this is that, well, whoever saw the ghost on the plane first, well, maybe they were just hallucinating. And then
they were a ghost themselves.
And then other people hallucinated because they believed that person's hallucination. Like it was a kind of contagious hallucination.
Hallucinate, yeah.
That's weird. Because
no, it is, yeah.
What would that hallucination happen to begin with? Unless maybe that person knew that the plane had parts from a plane that crashed or whatever.
Well, maybe it turns out there was a news article about it. Maybe the plane crashed, so people were nervous, and they had fears of crashing, and that's all they could think about when on the plane. So, they figured they made all this stuff in their head, causing these hallucinations of spirits or ghosts. And I know it's probably impossible because everybody would be thinking of the similar thing. That's quite impossible, but it's still quite a possibility because maybe children died, which maybe there's some trauma to it, or basically it's complicated. It's very complex.
In a future episode, we might go into more detail on this particular story if I have all my notes together.
Right.
But I just
you don't ever write anything. You don't write any notes. Let me give you a little something about Paranormal real quick.
I read articles.
He reads articles and he watches YouTube videos. That's his notes. He doesn't ever write anything down.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I'm doing improv. I don't make these jokes up. I just say what's on my mind.
So, do you know any really interesting or creepy ghost stories?
The masturbating fisherman. I got that from a YouTube video. Let's be honest, but not that I can think of. Have there ever been any haunted schools of any sort? Cause
there have. I don't know any specifics though.
Cause think about it this way: when the school we went to, besides the annoying jackass students, have you ever felt like there's another presence watching you? Because in a way, I feel like I have, but I don't think anyone died there, right?
I felt the camera watching me.
Oh yeah, the camera.
Uh,
Because I know there was that kid that died in middle school, and I always felt I mean I was always cautious in middle school anyway, but I don't
Ye-
know.
you know, the high school that me and you both went to,
Yeah.
I've heard rumors that in the other gym, the older
yeah,
gym
I
that,
know
that people didn't really use as much,
Yeah,
was
I know what gym.
haunted.
Yeah, people always hated that gym. Yeah.
I've heard some stories of people feeling like someone was touched and stuff like that.
I mean, I can kind of get what they mean by that because I've been to the old gym actually.
Yeah, and I've been there too. I didn't experience anything except
Yeah.
when I was first on my way to walking to that gym,
Yeah.
because my teacher wanted to show us the gym or
Right.
go there for some reason. This big ass fly comes close to my ear, and I swear to God, it rapes my ear.
Like a horse. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Like the horse flies.
And it only does it to me.
I, she thinks you're cute.
And I was like, well, people do say flies are connected with, like, spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
So, like demons or whatever.
For me though, if I had to say there was some type of feeling or rumor with this gym that if I felt anything, the only thing I can honestly possibly say is that gym was a hell of a lot hotter being in instead of the old one. And I want to point out, no, they don't have AC or anything. It was just like, it was weird. In a way, there was some type of presence, but I don't know exactly what. Of course, I wasn't thinking about any presence at all. I was just thinking, oh, this gym fucking sucks. It stinks. It smells like dog piss.
When I first heard about that gym being haunted, it seemed like when my teacher was describing it, this was supposed to be like some bullshit project she made up, like making up a bunch of stories as like but kind of like a prank.
You know damn well nobody fucking listens in that school.
Yeah.
Because
it was close to Halloween when she was doing this project. We had to read all this stuff about
yeah,
hauntings and things like that.
yeah. I remember when the Grim Reaper came in my class.
Okay, do tell.
No, okay. It was obviously teachers pranking. And I saw that they were doing this and crap. So I was just sitting there like I'm kind of like far left of the row column, whatever. Like I guess third row's first column or second column. And I just remember seeing them come in. And it's funny, I wasn't scared at all, but I was the first one to get up. And it wasn't for the reason that people thought. They thought I was scared. No, I wanted to confront them and say, hey, no, stop that.
I remember when a jack-o'-lantern killed my art teacher.
Wait, what?
So I was walking to art class, and I was the first one there. I was usually one of the first people there on time.
Let's talk about our school, you know.
And I was expecting Mr. Ike to be at the door.
I remember him. He's a good teacher.
So I opened the door, and I see this fucking jack-o'-lantern guy.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Ike.
Obviously.
Freaking jackass. The jacko-ass.
Yeah, continue.
And Mr. Ike is terrifying wearing a mask.
Oh, no, I bet he is. I mean, he literally looks like a... He looks like a fucking white terrorist.
The worst kind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But anyways, we're sort of getting off topic a bit.
Finish the
What?
story. Finish this.
I mean, that's really about it. He took his mask off after that.
All right, I got one more school story, and then we'll move back to the topic. And I'm not gonna mention teachers' names because someone could actually legit get fired for this.
Yeah, maybe we should bleep out the name of the teacher I mentioned.
Well, he didn't do anything wrong. It was literally just a simple like, oh, he was wearing a jack-o'-lantern.
All right.
Yeah, the stuff I'm talking about is something else. So we had these two teachers. One was the math teacher. One was the history teacher. And the history teacher's all buff and stuff. And the math teacher, he was actually a cool guy. He was like, I gotta save these kids. It wasn't actually like that, but he was the method. And they hated each other. So one day they were talking in the hallway. And it's funny. It's kind of funny when the student has to play detective here. And basically, the history teacher, by the way, this is what the math teacher said. The history teacher apparently headbutted my math teacher into the fucking wall. and
Was it on Mischief Day?
I don't know. And the history teacher was saying it's an accident. Obviously, my history teacher went to the math teacher and just cleared things up. He's like, look, I don't want to keep my job professional, blah, 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 etc. But it's funny because we have all my classrooms were like all near each other and stuff. And it's funny because I'm talking to the other teachers like I fucking work there, and they're like, wait, what are we doing? Like, this is my job. You're a student. I'm like, yeah, well, this is just everyday life with me. Just let me help you out. It's funny. I had to be therapeutic to my math teacher. I was like, hey, what's going on, buddy? I actually had to talk to him like that. I had because nobody wanted to listen to his story because he was new. So I had to listen to him. Oh, that was funny, but yeah.
You were his psychology teacher.
Yeah, pretty much. I was literally just yeah. And then he died. No, I'm joking. Yeah, he eventually got fired or quitted because he gave up on the kids, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
But then the school was haunted.
it wasn't haunted.
It wasn't. It wasn't haunted, but I'm trying to get back on topic.
So, trying to think where to go with this.
Well, there are many ghosts and afterlife stories. Now, here's the thing. Does it explain the afterlife? Is this actually enough proof to explain if this is real or not?
Well, I don't think there's any proof.
Right, but do you still believe in it?
Well, I don't believe either way.
Okay.
So, all the afterlife theories we've explained so far, most of them you have heard of.
Right, of course. Right.
The simulation one is a little less popular, but you've probably heard of it at some point.
Right.
But there's one afterlife theory you might not have ever heard of before.
I'm listening.
And a lot of people may not have ever heard of before.
It's actually, I have one more too, but go ahead.
This theory is called eternal recurrence.
Is this the time? I was about to say, is this the time loop thing I was about to mention?
Well, it is kind of like a time loop in a way.
Okay, because I was about to say, so it's like the cycle doesn't change.
It's basically, imagine that your life is like a movie.
Right.
So imagine if you watch a movie from beginning to end.
Right.
And then you're one of those crazy grandmothers that's like, I have to watch it again because I'm obsessed with it. It rewinds back exactly the same way.
Now,
so imagine
question,
when you die,
is it like
it rewinds back to when you were born.
Is it literally like oh, you just hit the replay button, or do you rewind it like a VHS tape?
Well, you have no decision in this. Life decides it for you.
Right.
To keep happening over and over and over. So it's kind of like reincarnation, but reincarnating in the same life forever, eternally. And it's never a new one.
Right, okay. I don't know why. I find that kind of funny. Like, you see somebody die in a movie, you're like, wait, hold on, let me rewind the tape, and then you hit play again. I'm like, dude, behind you! You gotta, yeah.
So for example, you mentioned before about how when you were a baby, when the C-section happened, the doctor accidentally cut your face.
We didn't have to mention that, but okay.
but I'm just giving an example of something.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, long story short, doctor cut my face with a scalpel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that noticeable, though.
Yeah, thank you for the beard.
His beard covers it up.
Yes.
So, according to the theory of eternal recurrence, when you die, you're going to relive that experience of being born that way. And you're going to experience all the events that led up to here making this podcast.
I don't know why. I thought you were going to say something like, when you die in real life.
So basically, time subjectively for you rewinds back.
So it's like killing your grandpa.
Yeah, I guess.
So that means this isn't the first time I said, hey, I'm rocking it in a Nazi outfit.
Yeah.
Long story short, I would rock it in a Nazi outfit.
Well, this really adds on to the problem of abortion.
We are not getting
'Cause-
into that.
Because, look, we're going to be neutral on this. So, so imagine
Yep.
a fetus or a baby gets aborted.
You guys can skip this part. This is when we get political. You can skip over this.
If eternal recurrence is true, that fetus is going to experience it over and over.
Oh, God.
forever. You have sentenced that child fetus to an eternity of beginning and ending in like a few years or something like that.
This is why I mean,
not a few years.
This is why I'm kind of like a bit
months.
pro-life here, okay? See, you're proving my point that this is a horrible, horrible thing. You know what? I'm going to go a bit off topic. Let me get into some FNAF lore, Five Nights at Freddy's lore, just to be a dick and prove a point. William Afton is one of the main horrible characters, and he gets sent. He pretty much gets sent to hell. And you know how the games are, where it's like you go from 12 to 6 a.m. He's in a purgatory where he has to repeat that same exact night every fucking night with everything trying to kill him, over and over and over and over again, endlessly. That's like the same thing like a fetus being killed.
And you're probably wondering, well, what is the proof or evidence or reason to believe that this is true? I mean, why would we keep rewinding our life over and over and over again? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, why do women keep choosing bad guys?
That's a fair point.
Exactly. So if you guys,
Why does the Muffin Man keep using the same type of muffin?
yeah. So if you think you said one cringy thing to a friend or a girl you like only once, possibility you done 1,000,000 times in every year, like every life.
Exactly in the same way.
So just imagine that you cringy people who can't take it.
So imagine viewers that ex-boyfriend or girlfriend
Right.
or whoever
Oh.
that you hate their guts
Yeah.
of,
Well, actually,
and you completely regret being with that person.
yeah.
According to eternal recurrence, you're going to relive that forever.
Actually, I just want to say, here's the thing. This actually explains deja vu a bit. How you can remember certain events in your life, like a small little thing. So maybe this internal loop is the reason why some people or most people has deja vu and remember certain events that actually never happened. So, take that, you fetus killers.
Never happened yet.
No, it probably already happened. Now to let you know, the past you already said that, and the one before 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 that, and the one. You get the point.
So you're probably wondering, what is the evidence for eternal recurrence?
Never mind. You said it 2,000,000 times.
And you keep interrupting with a new bullshit thing.
I interrupt 4,000,000 times.
This is gonna go on for eternity, isn't it?
Exactly. And over and over and over and over and over and over. But yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
So one of the reasons why people believe in eternal recurrence is that they think that the universe has to be cyclical in the exact same way. So,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, the Big Bang happens, leads up to all these events, the Titanic sinking,
Right.
the Pearl Harbor happening, World War II, all these different
But it
events.
was God. God made it happen. Not the Big Bang was just a theory, a Big Bang theory.
But let's just say God's not real.
Okay, going with my logic.
And that so the Big Bang led up to now all these events exactly.
Right.
But when the universe ends, will it happen? Will another Big Bang happen in the same exact way that creates the same exact events in the exact same way, or will it continue to keep making new events? Because if it keeps making new events for eternity,
Right.
eventually it's going to have to run out and just start back over.
No, I'll give you that. Actually, in a way, the internal loop theory actually kind of makes me feel better.
Eternal loop.
Just internal. We don't care.
Well, I guess it could also be internal because your
Eternal,
subjective
internal.
experience
Yeah.
happens.
The reason why I find it funny is because now I don't feel bad for being called unoriginal, because everything you've done is unoriginal.
That is a good point.
So we're all unoriginal. Get over it.
It's just like our friends in VR are like, you're so unoriginal.
So are you. We're all unoriginal. You used to be a boy once, or 12, or a million times. I don't know. Oh, man. See, this was a pretty good episode.
But what do you think of that idea? Is it terrifying that might be true, or
Honestly, no, in a way. That's exactly what I wanted. The idea of trying to relive your life over, and with the small deja vu, probably mixing it up a little bit, remembering certain events. I don't mind being in a cycle. Because does anyone really want their life to truly end? No, they just get bored. They rather have... I'm pretty sure people won't admit to this, but I'm pretty sure they rather have there's some self being in a loop over and over, despite the fact they probably won't even remember it. Because I rather let myself keep living and let my legacy keep going over and over and over and over, instead of just ending forever, for eternity. It's either you repeat or you're done. And I'm going to keep repeating, motherfucker.
I'm gonna keep reproducing, motherfucker.
I don't know about that. Plus, like I said, the whole deja vu thing, that little small deja vu could change an extreme amount of your life without even knowing. So there's still a possible change in your life
Yeah.
through the same cycle, if the deja vu theory is real that I just made up. So yeah. Beat it, pussies.
So far from what you've heard of all these different theories of the afterlife,
Yeah.
which one is your favorite?
Like I said, I'm a big fan of the loop, because the unpopular ones are usually the most sacred. Now, I'm gonna put the alien one as my second favorite, because in a way I kind of really wish that's how it happened. Like, imagine being racist in the simulation, but
What?
you have
There's plenty of those.
But you're married to your beautiful white girlfriend. Simulation ends. You both die. You're not the race you thought you were, or she was. Holy shit! What do you do? Do you accept
I'm sorry, what?
What?
I think you gotta repeat that again.
Okay, so let's just say you're a white man, simulation, a white man, girlfriend that you love dearly, simulation, also white woman. You wake up from the simulation after you die. It turns out that in the simulation, that was just a shell of a character. That wasn't really what you actually looked like in the simulation. That's just how you thought you looked. So
Okay.
it mimics you. You get out of the simulation, so does your wife, somehow around the same time. You guys recognize yourself because of personality, but you're not who you think you are. The guy's probably a fucking Asian with a small dick, and the woman's an African. How would that make you feel if you were racist in the simulation? You were secretly dating a black woman without even realize.
I think my brain just exploded.
Yeah, I was about to say, you just got mind fucked. How does that make you feel?
That would be one way to screw with it. That would
The ultimate alien prank.
that would be one way to make hell make sense.
Yeah.
Like, instead of sending racist people to eternal hellfire, you just do this to them as a punishment.
You know, just to make things even better, I'll just fucking say, for all the people who say they identify as a woman, if you actually come out as a woman, I'll give you that one, trannies. I'll give you that one.
Oh, so it's like maybe in the simulation you're a biological male,
Yeah.
but when you take off the simulation headset,
Right.
you're actually a woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Or the person
or
you
the
love
other
is a
way around.
woman. But
Right.
or the person you hate is a transgender in the simulation, but they come out as the thing they wanted. How would that make you feel? In fact, maybe that will improve. Maybe that proves the transgender talk, which I'm not going to support. I'm just going to be a bigot and still stick with my opinion. But if you guys want to use that for your own thing, that's up to you.
I mean, you could also use reincarnation as a way to support it, because if you remember your past life being a girl, when in this life you're a boy, you could.
Reincarnation can go piss on a cat. Every time.
But actually, that leads back to the topic of reincarnation.
Right.
So, you've heard of like stories of kids that think that they have a past life memory, stuff like that.
I don't know, maybe a guy, maybe a certain persona, we could say. I'm not going to say names. I know it's going to offend certain people. Starts with a J. A persona that starts
We don't
with...
talk about him.
Okay. I like that you're confirming it's an actual person. Right.
So,
DID is weird.
and the funny thing is, I have heard one experience where a little boy believed he remembered some of his past life, and the past life he had was as a girl.
Huh. Okay. Fascinating.
So maybe that could explain this transgender stuff.
Maybe. Well, that's your only theory, and that's probably your only hope of anything. So I guess that's what you gotta guys defend off. But we're gonna stick to science.
There's also a lot of past life memories of people dying in World War II, things like that,
Right.
which are very interesting.
Of course.
Can you imagine being a kid that has a really vivid memory?
A traumatic past.
Yeah,
Like for
yeah,
some
that.
reason you're reincarnated. You're 5. You're 5. You're for some reason your dad takes you to the shooting range because he's like one of those redneck fathers, and you somehow hold
Just
the gun
like you have
perfectly.
red hair.
Yeah, fuck off. I don't have red hair. Maybe in a past life, but
Maybe you're trans hair colored,
oh my gosh. shut up.
because one of our friends seems to think that Peachman is a redhead, even though he's actually
dirty blonde,
a dirty blonde, or
brunette. Yeah, probably dirty blonde brunette.
yeah.
She's delusional. Not, I don't know, 50-50 on that one, but fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the 5-year-old. Yeah, and the 5-year-old holds the gun like he has all of this experience with it, like fucking he knows how to like kind of reload it, or like it's like a very faded memory. Maybe that could be a connection to the World War II. Like if somebody has like a certain type of thought, you should try to experiment with it. I mean, like without them knowing, obviously. in a safe way. Don't like put them on a construction site and go like, oh yeah, here's a drill, little 5-year-old Timmy.
You don't sign them up to the military right away.
Yeah. I meant like do an experiment like they have a memory of something but they don't know exactly what it is. So you go back and get like a 1960 doll and they like know how it's used or played or what its specific name is without even looking at like stuff. You know, experiment. I mean, I feel like Jesus sometimes, but my hands always hurt from. I feel like I got 2 nails in my hands.
Well, speaking of Jesus,
Yeah.
there's actually a picture in my room, even though I'm
I
not
like
religious.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time we say something about Jesus, me and Jer, normal, always look at this photo of Jesus in the room. Like we say, like so about Jesus. We literally look over for like 3 seconds and be like, yeah.
Yeah, I have like a picture, painting, whatever.
I like it's behind you. Should I get a picture of Satan behind me? Just fucking. So about Satan. Fucking.
Funny thing is, you kind of look like Satan, like a handsome version.
That's funny. People say I look like Jesus and Satan. It's funny.
You look like a rock star hippie.
I'll take it. At least I'm pretty attractive.
That would really rock it in a Nazi outfit.
I would rock it in a Nazi outfit. Whoops. And yeah. Nazis. But
So what do you imagine heaven being like if it's real?
probably just a fucking green screen.
Because of the simulation.
Yeah.
There's God is a director.
Yeah. Here's my version of heaven, actually. It's funny because it's similar to the internal loop thing. I think heaven is literally just a doorway to a repeat of your life, but it's in a different world where more positive things happen. So like a positive heaven, because maybe what you want is maybe the one thing that you wanted your entire life was to just have another repeat of life, and maybe that's what they do. Maybe it's like whatever people want in heaven. Like maybe you're a black guy who wanted to be born white. There you go. You're white now.
The thing that's hard to believe about heaven is that it seems so good to be true.
Yeah.
Like after you die, even if you've lived a really shitty, horrible life, after you die, if you're a good person or whatever.
Yeah, it's probably going to be me, probably. But
you just go to this perfect paradise forever.
That will probably never exist. Like anywhere in the world.
But what's interesting is some people, especially nowadays, more and more people and more quote-unquote Christians don't have as much of the strict idea of there just being heaven and hell. Nowadays, a lot of people are more open to other things like reincarnation.
Right.
And maybe heaven isn't this place that you just stay in forever after you die. Maybe it's kind of like a waiting room.
Yeah, like a purgatory or just a waiting room.
Like the waiting room in VR.
Yeah, I just want to say, imagine if hell was a thing, and it, like one of the things for hell is some dude has to watch Dora the Explorer City of Gold live action movie for the rest of his life,
or he has to watch My Little Pony for the rest of his life.
Okay, buddy, My Little Pony is not that bad. Okay, yeah, I can see how it'd be a pain in the ass watching it for the rest of your life, but still.
It's kind of funny. I know we're getting a little off topic here.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny that it's easier to be okay with a guy saying, "Oh, I like watching Powerpuff Girls," but when they say they like watching My Little Pony, oh, what the hell? That guy's weird.
So you're judging me. So you admit that it's weird that you're judging me for liking My Little Pony.
Look, you do your thing. And I'll probably hop on the same bandwagon.
Twilight Sparkles, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, you got Spike, background character
Spike the
Derpy.
dinosaur.
Oh, Spike the Dragon. I think I'm Applejack, which is used to be one of my favorite cereal commercials. I don't have a problem.
Okay, this is the wrong episode for this.
Yeah,
So-
modern problems require modern solutions.
Do yourself a favor. Don't have kids.
Yeah, don't have kids because if you think you failed them once, you're gonna fail them a million times more.
Especially if eternal recurrence is true.
Yeah. Well, I think this was a very interesting episode.
But before we end this, there's a little bit more to the eternal recurrence thing.
Right.
Instead of thinking of eternal recurrence on an individual, in an individual sense of starting your life over and over again, think of it when it comes to all of history. Every single event that has ever happened will happen over and over again exactly 100% the same way.
Huh.
The sinking of the Titanic, World War II.
Wait, I have another theory.
What?
So, when you die, you say that your spirit goes up to heaven, but what if it doesn't? What if it turns out your spirit actually travels to another galaxy, another universe, and then your spirit floats down into the womb of your mother's stomach, and then you're born? So basically, it's another version of reincarnation. That's not your original body, but it's like a mimic of your body, but you have the spirit of it. And then life continues.
Wait. So reincarnating on other planets?
So basically, you would be reincarnated in a different universe that's literally the same exact universe, just a different place. And you're being born, and you look the exact same. You pretty much live the same exact life. It's like the internal loop, but it's not a rewind. It's just a new creation. It's just a mimic of the old life of yours. So like, it's just a new version of the Big Bang every time you die and being reincarnated.
Well, that's one way I was already trying to explain it.
Okay.
So there's that way to explain how it happens, but there's another way which is a little harder to comprehend, which is that time is subjective for you, and so...
But let me explain it from my
would
perspective. Like, your spirit will literally float for possibly either millions of years and then eventually you would reach around your point where you're born. You'd start floating down from space to Earth, landing in your mother's womb, and then you take control of that body. Then you're born. Yes.
Or what if instead of eternal recurrence being true,
Right.
what if you keep reincarnating into a different parallel reality version of yourself, where some things are a little bit different in each universe,
Actually, yeah, that could be a possibility.
but there's
'cause
mostly the same similarities?
that's actually a possibility because I had a lot of false deja vu, which is like, let's just say there was a universe where I thought I got into a lot more fights than I should have. Like the smallest change. Maybe I don't have as many scars or markings or, not as sad as a cucumber.
Or an onion.
Maybe there wasn't actually a woke Disney movie. Maybe they actually did make it a white character or an Asian character.
What if in a different reality you're actually a black man,
Yeah!
but you're adopted by a Chinese guy?
Yeah, I got a big dick, but society hates me. According to Wikipedia. I got a bigger dick and also a bigger ego. I have a pretty big fucking ego, but comparing it to a black guy, they're out of my league.
Or what if in a parallel reality, you're a woman and your name is Shawnea or Shawnea?
God damn it. I mean, people already know my name on this damn. No, it would be Shantae. A black woman. You know, I could just say yours. Maybe you'd be Jeremiah.
That actually works.
Yeah. Technically, it works because it's still similar to your actual name, like your normal name.
Jeremy,
You do look like a Jeremy.
Jerome,
I want to point out Jeremy is like a jackass name.
Germany.
Germany. Gerald.
Or what if in one parallel reality, Hitler isn't that bad of a guy?
He never was. What do you mean? He did his country proud. What if Hitler never had the mustache, so he lost leadership? Everybody knows that. Like think about it this way: people only remember Hitler mainly because of his fucking mustache. Let's be honest. You don't think of the guy who guessed Jews. You think, oh, that's the guy with the fancy mustache.
Okay, where are we going with this?
I think what we're going with this is either going to be an eternal loop that we might have to end so the viewers can repeat it on their own. Repeat the same topic over and over and over again from every single individual who watches this video. I'm basically saying we should probably end this.
Maybe we should now. We might make a part 2 of this
Yeah.
in the future.
You got any more surprising things up your ass?
Besides a vasectomy.
I'm trying to. Okay. I guess we could either leave it here. One more thing. Raven or Starfire. I'm probably gonna choose Starfire just to piss people off.
I'd probably pick Raven.
Okay. Salty Burl.
We're talking about romantic partners. Just to be
Yeah.
clear.
No, I'm talking about sisters. No, I'm fucking with you.
Stepsisters?
Yeah, same thing. Wife, stepsister, same thing. Well, it was fun. So, any
All right. Well, that was a very good discussion. Very intellectually
quite calm.
Soothing.
Yeah, really quite calm.
It was very intellectually stimulating
Ew.
to hear you be very serious about the topic this whole time.
I mean, I had serious topics before. I cracked a few jokes. I mean, I can be serious if I have to. People don't realize that, in a way, the exotic Peach Man is just a character. Like, people take things too seriously. Like, it's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard. Unless people are into that, which probably they are. But maybe in another timeline or universe, or I'm a much calmer guy.
All right. So before we leave, would you like to say any last words before I say mine?
Okay. So the quantum physics of Narnia is a. Okay. I guess I could say something. So people know me as Peach Man and stuff, and I've been trying to look for a date in VR. I don't know. If anybody sees me around that's a girl, don't be afraid to ask me out. I'll take fans, autographs, etc.
Just imagine eternal recurrence is true, and you're gonna keep living the same life over and over, where you're constantly looking for the date in VR to win a bet with me.
God damn it! I hate you now.
And your brother keeps being right every time.
I still got 4 months. But no, actually 6 months.
Okay.
So I just want to basically say thank you for listening to this whole thing. If you did, we really do appreciate it. I know we said every 2 weeks. I think it's actually been 3 weeks now, but at least we got it out like before a month, so I'm pretty proud of that. And yeah, I just want to say thanks for honestly watching, and I'm gonna let Jared take it over.
Yeah, everything he said. So, and as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Salty Barrel out.
Salty Barrel out.